Good afternoon, Bob Dalton coming to you live from Allendale's trading floor here in McHenry, Illinois. It is Monday, the 24th of October, 2011. Somewhat of a yawner here today if you were trading grains. We opened up and pretty much stayed inside of a very tight range throughout most of the day. Corn breaking down a little bit into the close here today, finishing up 1 3/4 at 651. That's the December contract, 651. Soybeans up 14.5. 1226 3/4 is where they settled up at after testing that 1240 area last night again, unable to push through it, settling off the highs by about 13 points. Wheat up 10.5. 642.5 is where they settled that market up. Now, we did have the dollar down here this morning, down 39, almost 40 points at 76.23.5. Crude oil all the while higher, right? Significantly higher. Right now, trading up 422 in the electronics at 91.62. So crude oil outside macroeconomic influences were supportive to our grain markets here today. You got to wonder why crude was running the way that it was. There were a couple of stories that had come out throughout the day that there are Turkish tanks and armored vehicles moving into northern Iraq to go after some Kurdish military positions. That's interesting in the timing where we're trying to get out of Iraq, and now we're going to see that country get invaded by another country. Whether they're going after the government or those rebels is irrelevant. All you have to hear is military troop movement in Iraq or the Middle East anywhere in an aggressive stance, and you're going to see crude oil react. And that's exactly what we saw here today. Crude running up for really no good reason whatsoever, except for the fact that there are some news stories out there that may or may not have something to do with supply chain movement of crude. So stay tuned to that. I wouldn't get too excited yet. Technically, we did do some broke out of some resistance points on the crude chart. We'll see what happens tonight and into tomorrow morning with that crude as stories from the Middle East continue developing. As far as the grains are concerned, all right, we're trading sideways right now. If you follow the Japanese candlesticks, there's a lot of tails out there right now. We're making big moves in one direction or the other and then coming off of them later on in the day. So check your charts. Make sure you're selling crop. All right, there's a lot of people that are calling in saying, what should I do? We advise them to sell, and then we find out months later that it's been sitting in the bin all the while and never got anything actually priced out. Rich Nelson in our meeting today, if you subscribe, listen to the research meeting today, he did give some price objectives going forward, 2012 average prices in the corn specifically, and they are surprising. All right, the numbers he came out with surprised me, and actually I will be stepping up my discussion with clients regarding hedges for next year's corn. We still got 2012 corn up above $6. All right, that's nothing to balk at. It's not all that long ago we were trading corn lower than $4. Here we are above $6, and twist the arms off of some people to convince them that it's the time to sell and get some of it done. So be very smart in your marketing. Don't walk away from profitable futures prices like we're seeing right now. And if you have questions, give us a call. We'd be more than happy to go through some strategies with you. Over to the livestock. Cattle today higher, and even the more deferred contracts, which would have been affected or should have been affected, at least mentally, by the cattle on feed report we saw on Friday, which was bearish. Really, the April contract opened about 20 lower today and didn't really fall apart as some may have expected them to. I heard opening calls after the report came out on Friday. They were from 50 to $1 lower out of the gates this morning. We opened up about 20 lower and just chopped around throughout the day. I saw it trade even a couple of times. So these cattle markets are strong. There's a supply issue out there that's going to filter in late spring here, 2012. And individuals and institutions are positioning themselves right now in those deferred contracts for a significant move higher. If that, in fact, does occur, those of you who produce cattle and feed them out and sell them, you should be seeing some significantly higher prices, in our opinion. Just be very careful again with the hedging. All right, make sure you're getting something taken care of in case the institutions pull their money out of the livestock and these prices begin to tumble, similar to what we saw this year in the grains, coming off of 770, 780 corn. Next stop is 580. All right, so be very careful and cautious. There are great prices and excellent opportunities out there. Just make sure you're taking advantage of them. Feeder cattle today up 7.5 in the November contract, 142.80. You got October feeders that are going off the board here this week, as well as fat cattle going off the board a week from today. October fats go off a week from today. So if you're in the futures for October, be very careful. Lean hogs today down 82.5 at 88.82.5. Took out last week's lows and actually closed down there. So somewhat of a bearish signal in the hogs. Have they hit their top? That's a great question. Right now, all we can really go off of is continued speculation that China's been in here buying pork. We're not going to know what happened as far as October exports are concerned until later on in November. They'll let us know about the October numbers. So be very careful. If you haven't priced out hogs or hedged hogs, go ahead and get that done. We're still up near $90. It's not a terrible price for those of you who were waiting for it to go to 100. 90 isn't all that bad either, so protect it. Protect it, and I would advise using options. If you want to talk with somebody here to get that done, the phone number is 800-262-7538, or you can visit us on the web, www.allendale-inc.com. Those of you who watch on Mondays regularly may recall last week I was talking about our conference. Right, we had 1 week of where we focused primarily on getting people in seats, reserving seats for individuals, and that was last week. The capacity for the conference this year is 300 attendees. We signed up 66 people last week, and here it is, the end of October. We have until the end of January. So if you're considering joining us and you're interested, call us as soon as you can to get signed up. We booked 66 out of 300 in 1 week with minimal efforts. So please, if you want to come, sooner is better than later as far as signing up and getting the reservations made. You may even save some money on airfare. I don't know if you get signed up early enough. So good luck with that. If you need anything from us, give us a call or visit us on the website. My name again is Bob Dalton, and I thank you very much for watching again this week. Good luck trading for the rest of the week.